Vasudeva Kutumpakam. One earth, one life, one future. Paryavaran bache to pran bache. Save the earth, save our environment. Respected Principal in charge, Professor F.G. Dakhar Madam. Guest speaker of the day, Dr. Mayank Rai, Dean CPGAS, CAU, and Honorable Respected former Director, Professor Rishikesh Senapati sir, Head of the departments, respected faculties, dear students, all the staff members and the family members here. A very good morning to one and all, and wish you a very happy Environment Day. Led by United Nations Environment Program held annually, World Environment Day is celebrated on 5th of June since 1973. This is for encouraging worldwide awareness and action to protect our environment. With these words, I would like to invite the dignitaries to the stage. I request Principal in charge, Floret Ma'am, to kindly accompany our guest speaker, former Director, Professor Rishikesh Senapati sir, to kindly take the seats on the dais. I also request our Head of the Department, DESM, Dr. B. Devi Ma'am, to kindly join them to the dais. Thank you so much. कुदरत का आंचल प्यारा है, उसे संभालना हमारा फर्ज है. World Environment Day is celebrated all over the world, as you know, and this day is the largest platform for environment public outreach. And this year is very special. 2023 marks the 50th anniversary of World Environment Day. Without taking much time to enlighten the day, I request our delegates on the dais to kindly proceed to the lighting of the lamp. Thank you so much. Now, I request our respected Principal in charge, Professor F.G. Dakhar Ma'am, to kindly give the formal welcome address.
Happy World Environment Day. Today is a celebration with a difference. For we have with us Professor H. Senapati, our former Director of the NCERT. It is really a joy and a privilege for Sir to be part of this celebration today. Sir is here to guide us, to mentor us for a workshop on toy-based pedagogy. We have with us on the dais our guest speaker, who is also our chief guest, Professor Rai. Professor Rai is from the Central Agricultural University, and this is not the first time that we are working together with Central Agricultural University, which is situated in Ribhoi district. As I told you students the last time, the university is just about 2 kilometers away from us, and this year, when we celebrated the Day for Millet remember, we had Professor Vishwaram Ram as the chief guest, and today we are honored to have with us for our celebration Professor Rai. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation and for being here with us. We also have Madam B. Devi, the head of Science Department, and our coordinator, Dr. Seema R., who has been working tirelessly for this celebration. To all the faculty members who are present here and to all the students, it is really like what I told you, a happy day for us. But let not this happy day end only with celebrating a program like this. Like what Madam Seema R. mentioned, today is the 50th year that we are celebrating World Environment Day. And World Environment Day, it is also known as Eco Day in some of the countries. 50 years have passed, but what happens with our environment? As we look all around, be it here, be it from the places that you come, be it in our country, be it worldwide. And I believe if we are really truly citizens, our concern should be to build up this environment which God has given to each one of us. Everywhere we see that there is degradation of the environment. So therefore, especially to my students, why is it that the United Nations, has kept this day as the day to celebrate World Environment Day? And do you know, for some of you who are not aware, 5th June was the first day when they started the conference there in Stockholm in the year 1972. So therefore, because it was the first day of the conference where they wanted to come together, the world should come together to preserve the environment. So therefore, 5th day is the day that we celebrate as World Environment Day. And what does the United Nations do? Every year, it comes up with a theme, all right? And what I've told you is that for 50 years now, the United Nations has come up with a theme. And as you know, the theme for this year, 2023, is Beat Plastic Pollution. Students, I want you as future teachers to take this seriously and to remember this. Why is it that we celebrate? Not just that, it ends up like any other program, like what I told you. But then this day is the day which we should take up this particular theme onwards. How to beat plastic pollution. Very, very important. If we look all around, I do not want to talk about what the plastic has done to us. But what I want to tell each one of you is to motivate each one of you. Because to fight this and to preserve our environment, it is a continuous effort and it is a collective effort. And from whom should it begin? It should begin from you and me. Let me give you something in the morning. A file came to me. And as I remember this theme on Beat Plastic Pollution, a file came where I had to approve for the use of plastic garbage bags. I had to take the first action. And I have to beat that, telling the office that from now onwards, we will try to reduce the use of plastics. Okay? So this was the first simple act. Students, when you go out from here, I'm asking this to the students. Do you notice anything there outside the auditorium? Please raise up your hands, the students. Did you notice anything there outside the auditorium? No? Bandana, yes? Louder, please, yeah? Yeah, okay, thank you. I think so she deserves a clap for that. She's the only one who observed what is there outside. I'm speaking to the students, please. We have kept that whiteboard over there, and there is also a marker over there. I request the students, whatever thoughts come to you, whatever thoughts come to you and me, to the faculty members, to the staff who are present here, and to everyone, let us just jot down. What are the different ways in which we can beat plastic, or which effort you have taken up from your side to beat plastic? Is that my point? So therefore, it will be open over there. Everyone is free to write. We did not put a soft board outside, but I said the best is a whiteboard with a marker where every day we are going to take pictures. Students, you are going to be future teachers. Think, what can be your role in doing this? And I believe with the lecture that we will be hearing today, and with the other activities that we will be celebrating this day, I believe your part also is very important, to think of an initiative or to jot down points on how to beat plastic. With these few words, again, I welcome each one of you to the celebration, and may it be a celebration with a difference, a celebration which we go back thinking what is our role in order to preserve the environment. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the warm welcome on this special day. As madam said, let this not end here. Let us take it in the right spirit. As academicians and teacher educators, we have a big role. Now it's time for the felicitation of the guest speaker. I request our respected former director, Professor Rishikesh Senapati sir, to kindly felicitate our guest speaker, Professor Mayank Rai, Dean from SPGSAS CAU. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, ma'am. As this year is very special to celebrate the World Environment Day 2023 with this theme, Beat Plastic Pollution, it's time for us to be aware, not only aware, but act against the same to protect our environment. I request our head of the department, DESM, Dr. B. Devi ma'am, to kindly come here for a brief talk.
Good morning, everyone. Respected Principal Inserts, Professor Dakhar Madam, then our former Director NERIE-NCERT, Professor Rishikesh, and guest speaker, Professor Mayank Rai, and our former Dean Satrapa Madam, and Senior Professor Pradhan Sir, and S.C. Roy Sir, and my other colleagues, and my dear students. So now, as we have heard on the World Environment Day and why we celebrate, so I'll just give a brief on the theme of this year, Beat Plastic Pollution. We all know that World Environment Day, we organize this program, we celebrate this program to bring awareness on the protection and the conservation of the planet Earth, our environment. So the theme, this theme, Beat Plastic Pollution, highlights people's actions towards plastic pollution reduction. So we know there are so many pollutants in our, and because of which our environment is degrading day by day, but plastic is one of the pollutants. So this year this program, this day will encourage people how to reduce and how to avoid and how to stop using single-use plastic. Because plastics, we have to beat plastic pollution, but not all the type of plastics are not pollutants. So pollutants is that what we use and throw and it reaches to the environment in our landfills and the water bodies, oceans, so and so. So these plastics are known as pollutants. Not all the plastics are pollutants. So why do this year? Because this year the Environment Day, because many speakers before me, they have said the World Environment Day was started in celebration of study 1973, and it came from the Stockholm Conference on 1972. From that day, every city, every country hosted the World Environment Day. But this year, Côte d'Ivoire means the coastal ivory of West Africa is hosting this World Environment Day, and that this country have stopped, they have banned the use of single-use plastic. So why we are talking about this plastic as a pollutant and why it is so important that we have to beat plastic pollution? That means we have to bring some solutions on the plastic pollution. So this is because according to the UN observance space, more than 400 million tons of plastics is producing every year. Then half of that 400 million tons are we designed for the single use. Out of 400 million, 200 million is originally designed for single use. That means it is going to our environment. And only 10% is recycled. Out of the 400 million, only 10% is recycled, and the 19 to 23% of this plastic, 19 to 23 million tons of plastic goes to our landfills and our lakes, rivers, and the ocean. Because of this, because the living beings, maybe the aquatic animals, maybe we human being, maybe the cattle, whosoever living beings are affected very badly from the plastic, because when this I'm not going to the chemical, components of the plastics and the why single-use plastic is toxic and the why others are not toxic. I'm not going to tell that, but single-use plastics it is toxic when it is exposed to the heat or exposed to when it is being heated and when it gets exposed to the sunshine. That's why when they get toxic, they release many chemicals which is harmful to the living beings and which get shipped into the soil, and gradually it goes to when we throw the plastic, we think that we're just throwing it, but when it gets toxic, when it becomes heated or when it becomes degraded, then it becomes toxic and it goes to water, it goes to soil, it goes to air also. That's why this is very harmful to the human being. And even if we count the inhalation done by human being, the less than 5 millimicron plastics it goes to the food, it goes to the air, it goes to the water. So this is only from the less than millimicron diameter plastic I'm telling, but some lesser than this 5 millimicron also get inhaled by human being and by the living being. So if we count that one, it is very dangerous level. It is dangerous level, and as per the estimation, each person in this world they are consuming 50,000 plastic particles per year. It is consuming. That's why it is high time for us to beat plastic pollution. Because of these reasons, I think the theme of this year World Environment Day is we are devoting to the how to beat plastic pollution. So some of the, I think all the individual, this is mainly the World Environment Day celebrating, we have said earlier, for the individual, for the offices, for the government, and for any organization, so they have to be encouraged. We have to encourage, we have to arouse interest, and we have to make them their responsibility, their duty in how can we beat the plastic pollution. Because by saying only we cannot wait for the government. There is no another separate body, not separate organization who will come and do this beating of the plastic. How beat plastic pollution means we have to overcome the pollution. So how to overcome the pollution caused by plastic is not only the duty of a particular organization, particular people. So it is for all of us, for the community. Everyone we have to be aware. We have to, we have to take initiative, and then we have to cater, and then we have to do our duty. How to, overcome the plastic pollution. So a few tips. How can we beat the plastic means the promotion we can promote the action to reduce plastic waste. So here plastic waste means now, see, Dr. Florette also mentioned about what you have seen around the hostel. So many times what we do, we think for our easy and the very comfortable. So we hardly take our, the earlier time, if we remember, my mother's time, and even when we were children, we were very small, we hardly use plastic. We just take our cloth bags and some plastic bag, but it is not one-time use. We use it for long. So we carry those shopping bags and then we bring the things. But nowadays we go without anything. We just ask the plastic bag from the shop and then we bring it. But after that we just throw it after using. So like this, people, we should not do that. So for that, first step is we should carry our shopping bags. Reusable shopping bags, so that it can reduce drastically the amount of the single plastic use from the shopping also. And reduce, and not only shopping bags, water bottles, long time back, water bottle was banned, officially we don't use, but when you go to, any shop, any nearby local, now also we are seeing people are using water bottle. And coffee cups, because we think about the disposable ones. Disposable is easy to manage. And straws we use when the drinks, many drinks we don't use when we use any soft drink, cold drink, we always use the straw. So this particles, use of these things should be reduced so that it will not be disposed outside and we shall get it polluted the soil. Then refuse plastic straw. We have to, not only reducing, we have to refuse. Say no to plastic straw. And sometimes some sick people, when they cannot get up and they cannot drink from the glass, so we can use the metal straw or the bamboo straw. Bamboo straw is available, not in our place, but it's available. So we can opt for that. So we have to, every one of us, we have to think about how wherever we are using plastic, so what can it be replaced? And how can we reduce? Otherwise drinking cold drink and the soft drink, you can use your glass only, not the straw. But it is nowadays style, even children, they ask the straw, and also we should try to avoid that. We should always say no. And this is avoidance. And the proper waste management. Proper waste management is a very long concept. They have been telling that we have to segregate the waste. Degradable, biodegradable, and then non-biodegradable. But it is also not happening now. So this is also coming as one of the solutions, one of the, the means and the ways for beating plastic pollution. So we have to ensure proper waste disposal by recycling plastic waste and segregating it from other types of waste, because, as I said, biodegradable, throwing off biodegradable, and the disposing in the pit and all, it becomes useful. It becomes fertilizer, it becomes manure, we can use it. But plastic is not, it doesn't degrade. That's why it will become toxic, and it will, release toxic substance in the soil, so that it will become. So participate in cleanup campaign. Beach cleanup campaign, I think 3rd June, this year 3rd June, I think in Sri Lanka, some wild elephants coming out, and they are, in the garbage. Now they also found grazing on the garbage area, and they eating plastic also. So they are going to, Sri Lanka is going to clean up that area. So like that, so clean up, the programs, clean up campaign, we should take part, maybe beach cleanup events or community cleanup events. Yeah, many times I saw in Meghalaya, because they do village people, they do clean up, and they, all of them, one person from one house, they take part. I think like this, it is not only for that particular community, but we also should think that we should always take part whenever there is any cleanup campaign, so that you are contributing towards the beating plastic pollution. And educate and spread awareness. Okay, I think some people, we think that nowadays everyone is aware about it, but many people, they are not aware about the ill effects of the plastics, because they are not used to it, and they have not been oriented, they have not been made aware. So we have to make awareness in the we have to educate, and we have to make awareness for our friends or family, neighbors who is literate or who is not aware. So we can do that. And choose sustainable packaging. Okay, as I said about the shopping bag, or not only shopping bag, we have to look for, when we go to any shop, any mall, we have to look for minimal packaging items. And even if the packaging is, then also it should be reusable package. So for example, I think in some shops of Guwahati, and even in the airport of Guwahati airport, so they, do the packaging of tea packaging done by the jute bag. So I'm not telling for the airport only, but other shops also in Guwahati, and not only Guwahati, in Imphal, in many bigger places, they have different varieties of packaging materials. So when you go to the shop, so you should opt for those packages which is reusable. This way you can, help in it. And take part in plastic-free challenges. Okay, there are also plastic-free July. So now it is June, we are opting to plastic-free July, you can go for that, because from July onwards we can make free plastic. And promote reusable containers. So same thing only, reusable containers we should promote instead of, now a long time back, I think the waste papers, we use paper bags. Long time back, and the paper bag has been using the shops to give the dal and the potato and the onion like that, but we can do that again also. And engage in circular economic practices. So this is about the big companies, and also they should go for, when they do designing, they should go for the reusable one instead of use and the throw type of plastic. So these are some of the few tips, how can we contribute, how can we take part in beating plastic pollutions. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for enriching our knowledge on the consequences of excessive use of plastic, that is single use. Imagine it's just 10% which is being recycled, and the whole is being polluting our environment. So it is our individual responsibility, as madam said. Let us come out of the comfort zone and be more scientific in our actions. Now, I request our respected former director, Professor Rishikesh Senapati sir, to kindly say a few words on this auspicious day.
Thank you. At the outset, I would like to wish you all a very happy World Environment Day. Respected Principal, Madam Floret, our guest speaker, Professor Mayank Rai, Head Department of Science Education, Madam B. Devi, Coordinator of this program, Madam Sima R, Professor Pradhan, Madam Palit, Professor Subhas Rai, all other colleagues sitting here, my dear students. I am really very happy to be here on this auspicious day. We are celebrating World Environment Day. Your principal, madam, already has highlighted this was initiated in 1972, completed 50 years. Still, we are on the way. we have not yet achieved the goal, and we are trying our best. And when we are talking of this environmental education, you all know it is, we are trying to create awareness. We are providing knowledge to our students about this environment. And this year theme, beat plastic pollution, that means we are moving towards a solution for plastic pollution. We need a solution for plastic pollution, and that solution will be possible along with knowing if we feel for it, and if we, after feeling, if we do something for it. That is why when we are discussing about this environmental education, we are not only talking about the knowledge, we are creating awareness, no doubt about that. Madam B. Devi presented the fact before you, what problem we are going to face because of this plastic pollution. We all know about this, that is there. But after knowing, do we feel for this? That is most important. Attitudinal change. Only knowing is not going to serve the purpose. We know what is good, what is bad. But we should feel for it. That feeling is essential. To achieve anything, we need three things. We need knowledge, and we should feel for it, then we should do for it. That is why we have to create awareness. We have to provide adequate knowledge to our students, and we have to make them feel, let them realize, because we are here on this earth, and after us, our next generation will come, then next generation, and we should preserve something for them. Our students should feel that, and our students should be conscious of their duties and responsibilities, because you all are the students, you are going to be teachers, and you have great responsibility. If we can make our children feel, then definitely change will take place. Then after feeling, we should try to implement that in the field, maybe locally, what is in our hand. Let us try to keep clean our institution, our classroom, our home, our environment. Then we can think of the whole world. That is the way forward, that is the approach we have to follow. And we should not see environmental education in isolation, because we are talking of holistic development. In isolation, we cannot address this issue, and we should not teach environmental education in isolation also. That is why you might be knowing there is a case in Supreme Court. Supreme Court had directed to introduce this environmental education as a separate subject at the school stage. Of course, we have environmental study up to class 5. But after that, we don't have separate subject as environmental education. And NCERT argument was that if we teach separately in isolation, then the very purpose will not be served. That is why environmental education is integrated with other subjects. You go through NCERT textbook. That is our stand. That is then Supreme Court accepted the idea. Because that was the verdict of Supreme Court, that environmental education should be a separate subject. But NCERT argued before the court, and it was accepted. That is that, what does it imply? My point is, what does it imply? We should see environmental education from a holistic perspective, while teaching other subjects, because it is not knowledge we are going to give. If our intention is to provide knowledge, information, then we need a separate subject. But along with that knowledge, we have to create that attitude, that feeling. Then we have to implement that in the field. That is why we have to see it in a holistic perspective, in an integrated way. We have to integrate this concept with other concepts, with other subjects, with other domains, and we have to think of some multidisciplinary approach to address this issue. That is most important. And you all know, you are familiar with NEP 2020. And NEP, if you see the vision, in vision now we are talking about Indian ethos, Indian culture, Indian tradition. Why? Because in our tradition, from environmental perspective, if you see in our tradition, we worship animals, we worship plants. That means we have respect for plants and animals. We have respect for other living beings. That is an integral part of our culture. It is already there in our culture. We believe in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Now G20 is promoting this. Whole Taylor Commission has highlighted on learning to live together. This is a part of our culture. That is why we feel proud that yes, we are Indian. Our culture is something very rich. Our tradition is very rich. We have respect for environmental education. That also we wanted to integrate in our textbook, and to some extent it has been integrated. And our children should know about that. And second thing, that when NEP is talking about fundamental duties, promoting fundamental duties, this is a very serious implication for this environmental education. Why we want to promote fundamental duties? We all are conscious of our rights, we fight for our rights, but we have forgotten our duties, we have forgotten our responsibilities. As a citizen of this country, as a human being, we have some responsibility for the society, for our family, for our community, for our society, for the whole country, and for the whole world. That consciousness should be created at the early stage. From the early stage, we should make our children conscious of their duties and responsibilities, so that they can be good citizens of this country. They can be good human beings, and they can be global citizens. That is why policy is policy has recommended that our children should learn to respect the fundamental duty. That means we should promote these fundamental duties, and we should develop a sense of respect among the students towards these fundamental duties and constitutional obligations. That is most important. Then the question is how? How can we do this? Only through our curriculum and pedagogy. That has also been recommended. Through curriculum and pedagogy, now we are in the process of finalizing the NCF for school education. Once that is ready, we will come out with the new textbook and new syllabus. And there, what is our expectation? Our expectation is that we should come out with the curriculum, come out with the pedagogy in such a way that it will help our students to understand their duties and responsibilities along with rights. So by providing knowledge, by providing information, by integrating ICT, we cannot do this only by creating a consciousness, by creating awareness. That means we are feeling, by bringing about change in the attitude of our students, we can achieve the goal. So this is high time. Now we are sitting here facing problem. Temperature is very high. It is because of this effect. We are celebrating World Environment Day, and we are now feeling the effect, and we are responsible for that. So now time has come. We should be conscious of our duties and responsibilities. We should make our children conscious of their duties and responsibilities, so that we can preserve our environment, we can preserve our culture, and we can preserve something for the next generation. And not only feeling, we have to develop a right type of skills and competencies among the students. For that we have to take care of our curriculum. And we are talking about problem solving ability, talking about creativity, talking about innovation, and all this should be reflected in our curriculum. It is there, but how curriculum is being transacted, how we are assessing our students, that plays very significant role. This is the practical thing. It is not that by integrating everything in the curriculum we can achieve the goal. how we are going to transact the curriculum, what methods, what approach we are following for the transaction of the curriculum, then how we are going to assess our students. We are talking about holistic development. We are talking about socio-personal qualities. We want our children should be responsible. Should we assess that or not? If really we want to make our children responsible, conscious of their duties and responsibility, we should also assess that. That should be an integral part of the assessment. That is why now we are promoting holistic progress card, holistic assessment that will not only take care of the cognitive domain, that will take care of the affective domain, that will take care of the psychomotor domain. That means holistic development will be possible if holistic progress card is implemented in our schools, and if due weightage is given to all the dimensions. That is why NEP 2020 has highlighted no hard separation between curricular, co-curricular and extracurricular. Everything is essential for holistic development. That is why due weightage should be given to in our curriculum on this aspect, and it should be implemented properly, it should be assessed properly, that then only will be successful in achieving the goal of this environmental education. We are observing, we are celebrating World Environment Day, and we have to think in a holistic way, from a holistic perspective. We have to analyze the thing and we have to integrate it properly, transact it in a very effective way, so that we can achieve the goal. That will be a real contribution, and all will be benefited, we will be happy, our children will be happy, our society will be benefited, whole country, whole world will be benefited. If just we are conscious of our duties and responsibility, then we can achieve the goal and we can make our children conscious of their duties and responsibility. Thank you, madam, for giving me this opportunity. I am very happy to be a part of this program, and I hope you will enjoy this program, because we are waiting for our guest. He will deliver the lecture on this environmental education. You all will be benefited. So thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us and inspiring us to feel for the nature, so that our action will speak in protecting our nature. Yes, as sir said, we have to make the children feel and see environmental education from a holistic perspective. Your words were really inspiring, sir, and an eye-opener for all of us, especially our students. Thank you so much, sir. Now we have a group song by 4th semester, and they have planned the song based on the theme Beat Plastic Pollution to protect our nature.
समझना, अपनी आंखें खोले और कुछ करे, अभी 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 आओ बनाए एक बेहतर कल, आओ शुरू करें अभी। हमारे ग्रह पर आई समस्या, आओ सुलझाए इसे मिलकर हम, अभी 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 आओ बनाए एक बेहतर कल, आओ शुरू करें अभी। आओ पेड़ उगाए, कचरा हटाए, गलती सुधारे, हाथ बढ़ाए हम, अभी 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 आओ बनाए एक बेहतर कल, आओ शुरू करें अभी। अब देना करना, आगे है बढ़ना, धरती सवारे और बचाए हम, अभी 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 आओ बनाए एक बेहतर कल, आओ शुरू करें अभी। We need to हमको है जगना और है समझना, अपनी आंखें खोले और कुछ करे अभी अभी अभी। आओ बनाए एक बेहतर कल, आओ शुरू करें अभी, आओ शुरू करें अभी।
That was a wonderful performance. Yes, it's time for us to wake up and wise up. So now it's time for the main speaker, guest speaker, who is with us today, Professor Mayank Rai, for his lecture on this special day. Professor Mayank Rai is Dean in charge of College of Postgraduate Studies in Agricultural Sciences, Central Agricultural University. He specializes in genetics and plant breeding and has vast research interest in the field of plant genomics, molecular breeding, and genetic engineering. He has research experience of serving international organizations like International Rice Research Institute, Philippines, International Crop Research Institute for Semi-Arid Tropics, Hyderabad, and Cornell University, USA. He has developed transgenic rice varieties with high provitamin A, commonly known as the golden rice. He is serving in the region for the past 14 years and has developed rice varieties that are nutrient used efficiently and are suitable for organic agriculture. He has guided 20 MSc students and 5 PhD students and has more than 60 international publications to his credit. His primary passion is teaching in genetics and genomics. So it's a pleasure for us to invite you, sir. We are fortunate to have you here. Sir, I invite you for your lecture for the day.
Good afternoon, everyone. Respected Professor Senapati sir, former director NCERT, Professor Dakhar ma'am, the principal of the institute, distinguished faculty on the dais and off the dais, and dear students and trainees of this prestigious institute. My talk is between an exhilarating song and I'm sure a very interesting mime. So the introduction and the conclusion of my talk is already exciting. So I'll start with saying that I am from an organization that deals with agriculture, and this is an organization that deals with education. And I'm sure many of you will become teachers. And if some of you become politicians, I think there are only 3 things to take care of in this country, in your society. One is education, other is agriculture, and the third is health. So if you take care of education, agriculture and health, rest everything takes care of itself. Education, as sir was saying, is not simply what we read in the books. It is more about the holistic development of us as individuals. Not only environmental education, but any education in any subject requires holistic understanding of the subject. And since this is this day today, the World Environment Day is specifically for reduction of plastic pollution. Now, there is this, again, we do not look at it holistically. We think plastic means the carry bags that we carry. That is the only plastic we are talking about. We'll buy one nice fancy bag from Police Bazaar and we'll carry that, and we are doing our bit to the environment. That is not it. We'll have to bring in behavioral changes in our life. I mean, can you live without ordering things from Amazon? All of us do, don't we? And you know how much plastic they use for wrapping those shoes that you order, isn't it? We eat in KFC, there is no plastic that we are eating, but if you are eating in KFC, you are using a lot of plastic. Because the chicken is packed, the masalas are packed and transported in air-conditioned vehicles and so on. So it's not just those plastic bags, It's not just using those plastic bags again. But if we really want to bring a sustainable change, we need to look at it holistically. And agriculture also comes into picture there. Because plastics are coming from where? They are coming from, again, the basic ingredients are the petrochemicals, and one of the byproducts is plastic. Okay, many of these harmful things are all coming from petrochemicals. And in agriculture, the chemical fertilizers that we use, the urea that we use, okay, is also a brother or a sister of your plastic. Okay, so the nitrogenous fertilizers, the chemical fertilizers that you are using is also made up of the same molecules. Okay, so when we talk about reducing plastic pollution, we have to think about reducing pollution as such, and plastic is just one component, that carry bag is just one component. Okay, so that's what we will talk about today. Next, please. Or will this work for slide movement? Okay. Okay, so basically humans, if we really want to be close to nature or we want to protect environment, we all should be hunters and gatherers, right? We should all be hunters and gatherers, because that is how the nature had made us originally. But then we started settling down, we started making towns and cities, we started cultivating crops, and then we started modifying those crops the way we wanted it to modify. Okay, now on the left side you can see is the rice as it was originally in nature. We today call it wild rice, wild. Okay, but thousands of years ago rice used to be like this, and this still exists. If you go to low-lying areas of Assam, you will find such type of rices there. Okay, they are called Oryza rufipogon, the wild relative of rice. And what man did? Man made rice into this. Okay, why? Because we require more food. Okay, one fact that you should remember, we are trying to protect environment in light of these three figures. One is we live on 4.2% of land of the whole world. I am talking about India. We live on 2.5% of the water of the whole world, and we have 17.2% population of the whole world to feed. Okay, so food is required. We cannot survive on hunting and gathering. Okay, so food has to be made. We need varieties like this. Okay, but we should realize that we are going against nature, because nature wanted something else. Nature wanted seeds to shatter, fall on the ground, right? And that's how they will germinate again the next season. That is the natural process, how a crop is made. But we made seed which is non-shattering, it does not shatter, because we lose the seed if it shatters. Okay, heavy bearing. Okay, so what we are doing in return is we are reducing the diversity of the crops. The wild varieties are gone. If you ask old people, they'll say, oh, in our days, there used to be so many different kinds of tasty varieties, tasty dal, okay, different vegetables that tasted much better. But today, in order to achieve more and more yield, we have lost the diversity. So, in agriculture, what we are trying to do is, the red line is what man has done. Okay, diversity reduces by itself because of increasing population, but man has reduced diversity a lot. So now new breeding techniques, new techniques of improving crop yields without losing diversity. That is what is being focused on, that we should have diversified crops, diversified varieties within a crop. Okay, so because diversity is important. Okay. Just a few pictures to keep your attention. Rice belongs to this region. Rice, the center of origin for rice is this region, starting from Bihar, Odisha, West Bengal, northeastern region, Myanmar, China. So everybody claims rice. So the majority of the diversity of rice is in this region. Okay, and just showing you some diversity of different types of tomato and different maize varieties. Now what man has done, this was tomato thousands of years ago, we have made it into this, right? Capsicum, we want big capsicums. Wild brinjals, again brinjals, one of the wild species is found in this area. We have made, so what we are trying to do, of course, as I said, to feed billions of people, we have to produce more. So that is what we are trying, that is what agriculture is doing. Okay, and that is required. We cannot run away from it. Again, we cannot be hunters and gatherers. You must all have heard about Green Revolution. So I'll spend a few moments on this. This is my central slide. Green Revolution was very important, right? When we got independence for the first 2 decades, we were importing almost everything from the Western world. So we were basically on a begging bowl. Okay, the term used was ship to mouth. Hand to mouth hota hai? That was ship to mouth. We used to wait for the ship to arrive, so the grains will come and then it will be distributed. So that was the situation. So what we did was, there was technology available. We went for intensive agriculture. We put more inputs, more fertilizers, more manpower, more mechanization into agriculture, and therefore we produced more. Okay? What we did was, we imported a lot of chemical fertilizers, because at that time the Green Revolution was driven by input responsive varieties. If you put more urea, more phosphorus, more potassium, it will yield more. So that was the theme. The central theme of Green Revolution is input responsive crop varieties, mainly in rice and wheat. So we started growing those, we started putting more water, we started pumping water from the ground, okay, and we started putting more urea and getting more yield. So we became self-sufficient. Today we have, filled godowns, we can survive for 2 years if there are any environmental calamities. Okay, we are supplying food grains to several countries, and during COVID, we were able to sustain ourselves with so much of free food distribution, as we have seen. All that is happening because of Green Revolution. So we cannot say this was bad, this was required. However, this is not sustainable. We will not be able to go in the same direction, putting more chemical fertilizers in the soil, and that realization has started coming in the past decade or 2 decades. So now we are trying, opposed to Green Revolution, what we are trying to do is to go for input use efficiency. Okay? We put a certain amount of input from where we can get higher yield. So less input, more yield. Can it be done? Yes, it can be done. Okay? There are crops that are more input use efficient, unlike crops and varieties which require higher input. So focus has shifted from input responsiveness to input use efficiency. Focus is shifting from monocropping to crop diversification. Monocropping means single crop, rice, wheat, rice, wheat, rice, wheat. That gave us Green Revolution. Okay? But we are realizing that by doing rice, wheat, we have neglected several crops. And incidentally, as Madam was telling, this is the International Year of Millets as well. Millets were grown widely, again, starting from northern India, Rajasthan, Uttarakhand, Northeast, Bihar, Karnataka, Hyderabad. This is the center of origin for all the millets. We lost these millets, okay, because we wanted to produce more grains from rice and wheat. Okay, so again, the focus is back on crop diversification. Crop intensification, a lot of focus was on crop, rice, wheat. But now we are talking about farming systems. Farming system does not only mean crops, it means cattle, it means the trees growing on the boundary, it means fish. Okay, so a system has to be developed, a holistic method has to be developed so that it is more sustainable. And how will we make sustainable? How will we discourage farmers for because this is remunerative. Farmer gets income from this. You will have to provide some alternative to the farmer in terms of higher income. So you will have to produce technologies which will give him higher income by not using these methods. Okay? So, or by not using more land. We cannot go for deforestation, put more land under agriculture. That is not possible because we have limited land, only 4.2%. Okay? So we have to enhance income within the same resources. Okay? Chemical inputs, biological inputs. This has to be replaced. The chemical inputs have to be replaced by biological inputs, and that I will discuss what we are doing. Focus on the crop. In Green Revolution, the focus was on the crops and how crops will respond to different interventions, different inputs. The focus should be on the soil because soil will remain. Soil is permanent. Soil is what we are polluting. So the focus has to be back on the soil. If the soil is healthy, the crop obviously will be healthy. Okay? The focus was on mechanization in Green Revolution. Now the focus is shifting to digitization. We are talking about artificial intelligence. We are talking about disease prediction by using UAVs, by using GIS data. You have NESAC just besides you, and we are collaborating with NESAC to monitor crop health, predict weather, predict diseases, and then try to mitigate them in a timely manner so that the loss is minimum. So all is to enhance farmers' income. So can we produce more from less? Maybe. Can we generate more income from less? I think yes, we can. Okay? So we are trying both. We are trying to produce more from less or from the limited resources, and we are trying to generate more income from the resources that we have. And in this context, this term comes agroecology. So we are not talking only about farming or agriculture. We talk in terms of agroecology. Agriculture is not only also dealt in isolation. Agriculture is a part of the ecology, and it requires waste management, it requires water management, and it requires land management and several other aspects. So again, these are the components of sustainable agro-ecosystem. I would like the students to note it down or take a picture. Recycling, we have already discussed. In terms of agriculture, what do we mean by recycling? Grain is harvested. What do we do with the straw? Right? You have heard in television, news channels, what happens in Delhi every November, December, when the farmers in Punjab and Haryana burn their rice straw. Okay? So how can we recycle rice straw? One way to recycle rice straw is to use it for mushroom cultivation. Other way to recycle rice straw is to use it for making compost. Okay? If you have to remove it from the farm for the next crop. If you don't want to remove it from the farm for the next crop, well and good. It will just degrade in the soil and provide you nutrients for the next season. Input reduction is very important. We have to reduce the use of chemical inputs in the terms of fertilizers, in terms of pesticides, insecticides that are being used. And during COVID, this term has come up, and all of you should know what is One Health. It is talked about in terms of human health, but it can also be talked in terms of agriculture. COVID time we realized that humans are not, again, in isolation. Diseases, 70% of the diseases can be transferred from one species to another species. Animal to animal, animal to human beings to birds, birds to insects, and so on. Right? So when we talk about health, we have to talk in totality. Two speakers have already talked about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. It's not only about human race. The family involves everyone, including the soil microorganisms that I'll discuss. So when we talk about One Health in agriculture, we talk about crop health, soil health, animal health, fish health, okay? And whatever we require to do to make sure that all the components of the agro ecosystem are healthy. Then only you can have a sustainable agriculture system. Economic diversification, as I told you, is very important. How to enhance farmers' income. One slogan was there, the deadline is already over. Right? You remember that slogan, doubling farmers' income by 2022. This is 23. Okay? But let us not go by slogans. We have to enhance farmers' income. Okay? And that can be done by diversification of agriculture. Again, I talked about waste. We talk about secondary agriculture. What is secondary agriculture? I'll take two examples. We all know about Bhut Jholakia. Many of you must be from Assam. Bhut Jholakia, Naga chili, and in different states. And this much of Bhut Jholakia is sold for 10 rupees in Shillong market in crop season. Right? And many other chili peppers. So not much costly, isn't it? Just. But do you know that, have you heard of the company Chanel? Many of you must have. And many other European companies use these chili, not for chili. What do they use it for? They use it for the color in the lipsticks. Okay? And imagine how much of cost increase is there. You use the same chili. What is it called? It's called value addition. Right? The same chili which is sold in the market, there are different colors of chili, no? Different colors, shades of red to purple to green to orange. Okay? These chilies are used mostly from Brazil. Okay? India is not exporting that much. They buy those chilies, they add value and then sell it for hundreds of dollars. Okay? So that is something that is to be realized in agriculture. Agriculture is not just for food, for eating, for making chutney and eating. We can add value to the agricultural produce. Okay? Another example is soybean. Now soybean is called as a miracle crop. Why it's called as a miracle crop? There is no other crop that has 40% protein in the seed. It has 40% protein and it has 20% oil. So almost 60% is just protein and oil. So it is a superfood. There will be no other grain that will have so much of protein. Okay, oil you can have, oil seeds, different groundnuts, they will have 20%. But 40% protein. And do you know what is the primary product of soybean in India? It's the oil. Protein is a byproduct. Right? So oil is the primary product and protein is the byproduct. It is thrown, it is fed to pigs, it is why? Because there is some problem, it needs to be digested. It's not very digestible, the soybean protein. So in Manipur they ferment it, in Meghalaya also they use fermented soybean. So some treatment is required. But that value addition if we do, think about how much protein, energy, malnutrition we will solve if we can use the soybean protein. Okay? So this is how we have to change the mindset, the secondary agriculture. Secondary agriculture would involve making of vermicompost from the farm waste. Secondary agriculture will involve putting honeybees in your crop so that honey is generated. So that this will give you secondary income to enhance farmers' yield. So that is very much required. Apart from that, there are certain social aspects, social values and diets. Not only think locally, but eat locally. I gave you the example of KFC. So try to avoid KFC. There is a movement in Meghalaya called as the slow food movement. Okay. So where they promote indigenous food. Okay. Try to buy locally, eat local food. Okay. And we as organizations should also try to promote local crops, as in case of millets, and not try to introduce something which is not adapted to the region and may influence. Fairness in trade, farmers should be treated fairly, farmers should be given the appropriate price. Okay, it's all about economy. If you don't give them income, they will go and cut forests. Okay, they will try to increase their land, okay, to feed themselves and to earn money. So that fairness in terms of markets has to be given. Decision making should be based on participatory decision making, and connectivity of markets is also very important in terms of economics, right? If a farmer is producing a lot of, as I said, chili and nobody is there to buy it, how do we connect it with Chanel? That is our responsibility as organizations. Farmer will not go and sell his product in Europe. Okay, so that connectivity is required. And then land and natural resource governance is important, more of a governance issue, that which land should be used for what. Now, we have so much less land, but there is so much land that is unutilized. I am not talking about forest. There is agricultural land, there is forest land, and there is some land which is degraded, cannot be utilized. Okay, why don't we utilize that land for agriculture, for infrastructure? Okay, so that land use planning is important. Okay, so this was just the background of what we need to do. We need to go from, again, try to reduce inputs, try to use less inputs, less chemical fertilizers, and go for higher income generating activities and strategies that we need to bring in. So these are some of the technologies, just for the benefit of students, what our college has developed and what CAU is working on. We have developed biofertilizers and biopesticides. As I said, we have to reduce chemical fertilizers and pesticides in agriculture because they will produce soil and water. They will pollute soil and water. What are biofertilizers? These are a mixture of certain beneficial bacteria and fungi that are already in the soil. This is not, we are not inventing these. These are already in the soil. We isolate them. We make these formulations. These are basically Pseudomonas species. Okay, what they do, they can fix nitrogen from the environment. Okay, so you have nitrogen fixing bacteria, you have phosphorus solubilizing bacteria. There is a lot of phosphorus in the soil which remains fixed. It is not available to the plant. Okay, so two major nutrients can be tackled if we provide biofertilizers, nitrogen and phosphorus. Nitrogen fixation can be done by the bacteria, phosphorus can be made available to the plant. So this will drastically reduce the use of chemical fertilizers. Okay, so we have developed different types of these fertilizers. And about biopesticides. Have you heard about any biopesticides? You might have heard about Trichoderma or Beauveria species. Now these are fungi which parasitize insects. Okay, so this is, again, we are talking about a system. If you do not have the knowledge of this, you will be keep on putting insecticides and trying to kill the insects. But nature has provided, there is this chain, this pyramid, food pyramid. So there are fungi who feed on harmful insects. Why don't we use those fungi to take care of the pests? Okay, why don't we use certain predator insects to take care of the insects that eat up the crop? So that is already being done, and we have developed certain biopesticides comprising of certain fungi which parasitize on insects. All we need to do is to release this fungi in the field, and they will take care of insects. Okay, so these technologies are environment friendly technologies. They can be used in organic farming, or nowadays a new term is coming, natural farming, right? So these are compatible with those environmental friendly farming techniques. We have this, this production unit of biofertilizers and biopesticides. We have different colleges in different states, 7 different states of the northeastern hill region. Every college has one of these. So we have a total of, we can produce a total of 3,500 liters of this pesticide in a week. Okay, so this is being distributed to the farmers. The farmers are being trained, and last year in Meghalaya only, we covered around 100 hectares of area where these crops were treated with biopesticides and biofertilizers. And these are suitable for multiple crops. This is a picture of rice transplanting, but it can be used for pulses, maize, and other crops as well. This is just a picture of certain trainings that we conduct in different villages across the northeastern hill region. We train the farmers how to apply these fertilizers in the farm. Okay? And slowly we hope that this will grow. And this is a crop near Nongpo, black rice, you all might have heard about and eaten. So this is totally under organic condition using our biofertilizers and biopesticides. So this is something where we as an organization can influence the environment by having positive inputs, the inputs that will not degrade or pollute the soil and water, and still maintaining the yield. Again, we cannot compromise with the productivity or the income of the farmer. These are some of the nutrient use efficient varieties that we have developed. I am a person of genetics and plant breeding. So we are focusing on developing varieties which are nutrient use efficient. That means they will produce high yield under low fertilization also. So this is something that is changing now in the country. These are a few pictures of those varieties. And this is how we do it. We evaluate the different varieties under low nitrogen, under different conditions, lowland, upland, and then screen, as you can see on the bottom you have, at the bottom you have tolerant varieties to low N and low P, and here you have susceptible varieties to low N and low P. So this is how we can select and develop varieties for the farmers. And also farmers have their traditional varieties. We should not push our material to the farmers. Farmers are also quite intelligent. They have maintained certain varieties for generations, and these varieties have very good taste, aroma, cooking quality for different purposes. So we are not only giving high yielding varieties, but we are also taking care of the quality. As I told in the beginning, we cannot compromise with the diversity. So the diversity has to be maintained. The only thing farmers need is quality seeds, so that yield is not reduced. Okay, so the farmer variety seeds are also being supplied. So this is my second last slide. Again, we need a holistic view of things. Now, have you seen this cartoon before? An elephant and several blind men. Okay, so everyone thinks that the problem is something else or the solution is something else, but nobody actually shares data. Even if they talk to each other, they will know that it's an elephant. Okay, so and that's what somebody talks about zero budget farming, because somebody is talking about natural farming, somebody says GMOs are good, somebody says GMOs are bad, ban them. Okay, jhum cultivation in this area, is it good or bad? People keep on arguing. Oil palm is being introduced, is it good or bad? I can discuss everything, but I think I'll not take much of your time. So we need to have a holistic view. Nothing is good, nothing is bad. Only thing how you use it, for what purpose you use it. Are you using it for your need or are you using it for your greed? Is the question. Okay, technology is not bad. How do you use the technology is what is required to be discussed. So what we can do as consumers, so agriculture is finished, but just a few points. Be aware of what we eat. Okay, I gave you the examples. You should know whatever sabji you are eating today, where is it coming from? Okay, is it coming from Meghalaya or Guwahati or Bihar or somewhere from Delhi? Rice that you eat. Again, one important fact about rice, 1 kg of rice requires anywhere between 3,000 to 5,000 liters of water. Okay, 3,000 to 5,000 liters of water is required to produce 1 kg of rice. Then what type of rice do you want to eat? Of course, rice is our staple. We will not live without rice, isn't it? So I am not telling you to leave rice at all. But do you eat basmati or do you eat Joha? Is the question, right? I am not talking about the taste or which one do you like or something. Joha is produced in Assam. Okay, be aware, just for your awareness. Joha is produced in Assam. In Assam, there are sufficient rains to take care of the water requirement of rice during the cropping season. So no groundwater, almost no groundwater is used to cultivate Joha or other local varieties in Meghalaya. Whatever you see is from the natural rainfall. Sufficient rainfall is there and you get those rice, right? But the basmati that is grown in Punjab and Haryana, 100% of it is groundwater. Okay? So this is something where you have to be aware. Okay? So what do you eat? Of course, basmati, why is it so, farmers want to grow it, don't want to leave it. Punjab and Haryana were hubs for millet cultivation. But it was all, because they have export value. They get dollars. So it's all about money. So they will not leave it unless you give them alternative. Okay? So, but as consumers, I am talking about as consumers, you should know what you are eating. How much water you are consuming when you are eating 100 grams of rice. Recycle kitchen waste. Throw your banana peels not in the dustbin. Now, many people will not agree. Don't throw them in the dustbin. Okay? If you have some soil in your house, some land in your house, dig a pit and throw it there. Okay? I am not talking about recycling green basket, blue basket. That is all right for airports. But in your homes, all kitchen waste should go back to the soil. Okay? Buy locally. Again, everything from fabric, you will be reducing a lot of pollution by buying local produce. Okay? Plant trees and more importantly, care for them. Don't bother about if your nameplate is there or not. I have also gone through many environment days and we plant trees and then forget about the tree. After 1 year when we come, nameplate is there, tree is gone. So that should not happen. Take care of the trees. So that is my last slide. I thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me and thank you for patient hearing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your enriching and informative presentation, for making us aware on from green revolution to evergreen revolution, sustainable methods of agricultural practices, produce more from less without compromising the diversity, moreover adding value to the production to make it more eco-friendly through secondary agriculture. The importance of biofertilizers and biopesticides and how to take care of environment by taking up individual responsibility. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us this special lecture for the day and making the day very special. I request the students to kindly ask if you have any question to him regarding eco-friendly agricultural practices or anything. Any questions? Yes, sir.
So, I'm from Manipur. So, like I have seen lots of palm trees being grown in Mizoram. Now, recently in Manipur, there is a trend that they should plant this thing, oil palm in a large scale. And I really don't understand. I read here and there, and I'm very, very confused in that regard. Would you throw some light on the
yes, that's
environmental impacts on palm?
That's why I left that slide without discussing much on those. Each of the points actually requires a lot of discussion. GMOs, oil palm, all that, natural farming. With oil palm, there are two sides of it. One is that India imports more than 50% of the oil requirement, right? So we are not self-sufficient in oil. And oil palm is considered to be a solution because it produces huge quantity of oil per hectare, okay, per unit area. So in that sense, oil palm is a need, right? But again, on the other side talks about the environmental concerns, because oil palm again is linked with deforestation directly, right? But if you read the policy document, oil palm, it never says that it will be grown on your rice land or forest land. It has to be grown on upland conditions, or the land should be converted from, as I told, degraded land. Okay, so land use is important in that case. Okay, so there is a lot of gray area. It is not black and white. We need it, and yes, there are environmental concerns. But the key is what land we are using for oil palm. Okay, so I would suggest that the unused land, the degraded land, the border land between two farm plots, okay, that can be used for oil palm. And even if a farmer, suppose one farming unit grows 5 oil palm plants, it will generate a lot of income, more than what he will get from 1 hectare of rice. So that is the economic value. So it is there. So we have to balance it. Again, need or greed is important. If you keep on growing it uncontrollable, it will harm the environment, right? But so that is the policy decision that one has to keep in mind.
Is it linked with the kind of desertification of the oil palm?
No, it's not desertification. Again, controlled, again, it has to be used in certain type of land. Okay, Mizoram does not have that much oil palm that oil palm can be credited for the desertification. Okay, it is the highest area under oil palm is in Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so yes, we have to take a balanced view on oil palm cultivation.
Issue that Parali, we often hear about that. Any update on that? How to make, instead of burning them, how to make use of them?
Well, there are again certain technologies that have been publicized and popularized in the last few years since this became quite a topic. One is there are now machines available. Main problem is combined harvesting. Now we don't have human beings to harvest as we used to do in earlier days, as we still do here. We harvest by hand. So what is the problem with combined harvesters is it harvests from top of the soil. So this much of rice straw is left, and then immediately you have to sow wheat. So the farmers have no option but to burn it. So that is the problem. There are machines developed which are being sold on subsidy, that are being sold on higher basis, which can cut this straw and make it into rolls so that it can directly be given to pulp industry, to mushroom industry, to such industries in Haryana and Punjab. But this will again take time. It is gradually, again it involves cost because those machines have to be hired by the farmer. So government is giving subsidy and so on. Other technological innovation is something biological. They have developed, IARI New Delhi has developed a certain microorganism solution that when sprayed on the farm itself, on the straw, it will degrade the straw much quickly than it will happen. So within a month, the straw will be degraded. So the farmers will have some benefit there. But again, this is a gray area, no solution is perfect. So still burning is continuing. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So towards the end of the program, we have the last and final entertaining performance by our second semester students. It is a mime performance. To watch that, I request all the dignitaries to kindly take the seats in the audience. The mime is on the theme Beat Plastic Pollution.
We are being choked to death by the amount of plastic that we throw away. It is polluting our land, air, oceans, and other water bodies while also entering into the food we eat. It is time to save our earth and reduce the use of plastic. We must never refuse to reuse. Recycling all the plastic bottles, cans, and plastic bags can be really life-saving. Plastic pollution-free world is not a choice but a commitment to life, a commitment to the next generation.
Thank you so much, students. It was not only entertaining but was informative and heart-touching. Without taking much time, I would like to invite Dr. Sajju Baladevi, Associate Professor, to kindly give the formal vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone, all the guests and all the dignitaries gathering here. At the outset, I would like to thank Professor Mayank Rai for delivering a wonderful lecture on the World Environment Day. We really like the kind of deliberation. I would like to thank, sir, thank you, sir, for bringing the importance of diversity once again in a diverse country. The kind of evergreen revolution, as is different from green revolution, agroecology, which is the need of the hour. And so we are really happy to know that your institute is making biofertilizers and biopesticides, and for giving a holistic view on the overall agriculture. Sir has rightly said that we have to take care of only three things: agriculture and agriculture in the education, education, agriculture, and health. That to have a healthy life, the kind of food which we should be eating, which we should be consuming, it should not be impacting the kind of environment that we see, which we owe for to our ancestors for giving us intact, and we should have the commitment to protect it for the future generation. I would like to thank Professor H.K. Senapati, sir, the former director of NCERT, so for linking the kind of sustainability, the kind of holistic development that is required for understanding the whole issue of environment and environment-related issues and the kind of things which has brought with the NEP 2020. That is really wonderful, sir. We had a real insight on what NEP sees. Even if we read it before, so we couldn't get it up to that. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that. I thank B.Devi Madam, the head of science, head of Department of Science and Mathematics, for bringing the facts of plastic, that how much plastic we generate and how much we are able to regenerate or reuse. That was very meager. Knowing the figure make us really think, ma'am. Thank you for giving the information. Last but not the least, my principal, Professor F.Z. Dakar, for giving all the supports in the kind of program whichever we do, the kind of encouragement which ma'am gave in the beginning. That is the real beginning, real spark of the day. We thank you, ma'am. I would like to record my thanks to all the Professor S.C. Roy, Professor Pradhan, which was there, and all my colleagues who are here. The second semester students deserve a round of applause, and also the fourth semester for the beautiful song which you have presented. As Mayank sir has rightly said that it was begin with a nice note and it ends with a wonderful note. Thank you, students. Thank you for being a part of the Environment Day and for taking the commitment and for showing that we are going to do something that is very, very important. I would like to thank the studio staff, the ICT staff, and all the family members who are gathered here for the program. Without you, it might not be a kind of thing. The beauty that arises out of it might not be there. I thank you on the behalf of the organizing committee. Each one of you deserves a kind of big thank from the committee, and with the commitment that we will be doing something for the future, making awareness, building awareness, generating awareness, and going local. That is the message which we should be taking into. Okay, thank you. Thank you everyone for the kind of wonderful day.